London is consistently ranked as one of the top city destinations in the world. In 2024 alone, over 21 million people visited the English capital. If you are planning a London vacation, I guarantee you will fall in love with the city's pretty parks, world-class museums, and iconic landmarks. I have been to London twice, once with my dad and once on my own, and I had so much fun each time. If you are worried about sticking to a budget on your trip, you will be happy to know that there are a ton of free things to do in London. To help you with your trip planning, I created the perfect 3-day London itinerary for budget travelers. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Rachel, a solo budget traveler who wants to help you plan your next Europe trip. This video is part of my budget travel itinerary series, which I love creating. I always base them on my own personal experience so I can make the best recommendations. If you're headed to London soon and are on a budget, this 3-day itinerary will bring you to the top attractions while keeping affordability the priority. Simply walking around London and admiring the architecture is an amazing experience. But I will also talk about ticket prices so you can make your own decision on what you want to spend money on. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this budget-friendly London 3-day itinerary. Feel free to edit it to fit your own time restraints and personal interests. Start your tour of London at Westminster Bridge. From this point, you can see many famous landmarks. Your eye will immediately be drawn to Elizabeth Tower, more commonly referred to as Big Ben. Set above the Houses of Parliament, this Gothic Revival clock tower was completed in 1859. On the opposite side of the river, you will find the London Eye, a 443-foot tall Ferris wheel. It is one of the most popular tourist attractions in the United Kingdom, but it is not budget-friendly. For the cheapest ticket, you have to book online in advance for £29. During the slow 30-minute rotation, you will enjoy panoramic views. I did ride the London Eye and honestly did not think it was worth it, but make your own decision. After crossing the bridge, find a red phone booth to take a picture with and check out the statues in Parliament Square Gardens before walking over to Westminster Abbey. This incredible church has been the location of British coronations since 1066. Many royal weddings have taken place here too. If you want to explore inside, tickets are £30 per adult. Children 6 to 17 are £13 and children under 6 are free. Even if you don't make it inside, the exterior is incredible. After admiring the Abbey, backtrack a bit and head north on Parliament Street. You'll walk past the gated Downing Street where the Prime Minister resides before finding the Royal Horse Guards. Take a picture from a distance and make sure to respect the horses. They will bite if provoked. Next, walk to St. James Park. This is one of my favorite places in London. It is such a beautiful park with a big pond and a ton of bird life. It is especially pretty in spring with a ton of flowers. You might also spot ducklings or goslings. At the end of the park, you will come to Buckingham Palace, the residence of the royals. If you time it right, you can see the changing of the guard ceremony. This takes place at 11 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. I've not managed to see it, but if you are there on the right day, arrive early to get a good spot. Public tours of the castle are open from July to September. Ticket prices vary based on age, and I'll put the breakdown on the screen. The next stop is Trafalgar Square with beautiful fountains and stone lions watching over the crowds. At the top of the square is the National Gallery. Most museums in London are free, and this is the first of many you will visit on this itinerary. Founded in 1824, this museum holds over 2,600 paintings. Art lovers could easily spend a couple of hours here, but even if art isn't your thing, you should pop in to see the highlights. After appreciating the paintings, head to nearby Piccadilly Circus, a famous intersection in the West End. Admire the lit-up marquees of the many theaters here as you make your way to Chinatown. With the brightly colored lanterns strung between the buildings and the smell of cooking Chinese food, this area is a feast for the senses. Book a reservation at one of the many restaurants and enjoy a delicious meal to end your first day in London. Your second day in London will be a walking tour along the River Thames, which is lined by many famous sites. Feel free to pop into any attraction that you want to visit more in depth. Start at Tower Bridge, the most iconic bridge in London that you will see featured on many souvenirs. This feat of engineering was completed in 1894. You can walk across the bottom level for free or pay to visit the engine rooms, climb the towers, and walk the upper level. On the north bank next to the bridge is the Tower of London. This UNESCO World Heritage Site has a rich history dating back to the 11th century. Throughout time, it has acted as a fortress, palace, armory, and prison. Today, it also houses the crown jewels. To tour the inside, adult tickets are £34.80 and £17.40 for children 5 to 15. Next, make your way to Sky Garden. I haven't made it up to this free skyscraper lookout, but it is definitely on my list for the next time I visit London. Avoid my mistakes and book your time slot as soon as you know the day you will be there. Spots open up 3 weeks in advance and book up fast. Set on the 35th floor, you will find some of the best free views in London. There are also restaurants and bars to check out. From Sky Garden, walk a couple of minutes to Leadenhall Market, a photogenic Victorian covered market. It was built in the 14th century and the architecture is very ornate with lots of details. Wander among the shops, but I suggest saving your appetite for the next stop. Head back towards the river and cross London Bridge to get to Borough Market. Here you will find a historic, sprawling market full of food stalls selling fresh produce, baked goods, cheeses, and delicious hot meals. No matter what you are craving, there is something good to eat, including lots of international cuisine. After taste testing from a few stalls, circle back to the river and find yourself outside of Shakespeare's Globe, a modern reconstruction of the Globe Theatre, where William Shakespeare's plays were performed in the 1600s. Guided tours are £27 per person. If you wish to see a show, book your tickets in advance. If you are on a tight budget, you can stand in the yard for £5. Seated tickets vary in price by play and seat location. Next to the Globe is Tate Modern, a contemporary art museum. I didn't visit, but if you want to check it out, it is free. Now, walk across the river once more, this time on the Millennium Bridge, a pedestrian suspension bridge you might recognize from the movie Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. As you walk across the bridge, you will see St. Paul's Cathedral in the distance. Completed in 1710, this is the second largest church in the UK. Tickets to tour the inside are £26 for adults, £10 for children 6 to 17, and free for kids 5 and under. However, you can enter for free during the Choral Evensong, which takes place daily at 5 p.m. except for on Sunday when it is at 3 p.m. This is how I visited, but no photos or videos are allowed inside, but trust me, it is beautiful. Spend the rest of the evening enjoying a tasty meal and taking in the city lights. The last day of this London itinerary is going to be a little more laid back, so you can relax after 2 days full of exploring. Today we'll focus on the Kensington area of the city. Start at the Natural History Museum, an amazing free museum with so much to see, including many rare and unique items. You could easily spend a couple of hours here taking it all in. You will learn about paleontology, botany, mineralogy, zoology, and so much more. From one museum to another, walk across the street to the Victoria and Albert Museum. The V&A is the world's largest museum of applied arts, decorative arts, and design. Walk through exhibits of paintings, sculptures, ceramics, textiles, jewelry, and beyond. Next, walk north to Kensington Gardens, a park with sprawling green lawns and tree-lined paths. Visit the Albert Memorial before wandering towards Kensington Palace. Since 1689, this grand building has been a royal family residence. It is notably the birthplace of Queen Victoria. The grounds of the palace are free to explore. If you want to go inside, tickets are £20 for adults and £10 for children under 16. After seeing the palace, check out the round pond in front of it. Photograph the lovely swans floating here, but remember not to feed the wildlife. When I visited the park, I found that a lot of the birds and squirrels were pretty friendly from people feeding them, but this is not good for them. Spend more time exploring the park and discovering different flower gardens, statues, and monuments. Connected to Kensington Gardens' eastern side is Hyde Park. Here you will find more beautiful nature, statues, and gardens. Find a place to sit and soak in the atmosphere. I'm going to end the structured itinerary here and let you fill in your last day in London with whatever interests you. If you missed the changing of the guard on your first day, you could do that in the morning instead and then visit Kensington as I wrote it. You could also spend your afternoon visiting some of the many museums throughout the city, or explore some areas that are a little further out, like Camden, Notting Hill, or Greenwich. Maybe you want to visit some Harry Potter filming locations or do some shopping. Just do whatever makes you happy. I hope this itinerary provided a good introduction to London. This is a city that you really have to visit more than once to see and experience everything, but this itinerary gave you a good starting point. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, comments, or other tips. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Next, if you want to learn about one of the best day trips from London, check out my guide to the Making of Harry Potter studio tour.